I am Groot, and this is Sequels and Spinoffs. As you may have guessed, I'm still Kyle Snow. And since this is Sequels and Spinoffs and we don't have a lot of people around, I brought in our resident film expert, brought in the most important person, Chris Miller.
Wouldn't really call me a film expert. I would call myself a film watcher.
But out of the four of us, I would call you the film expert. This is our resident film expert, not a actual film expert.
If you say so.
I do. I mean, by comparison to someone like me.
Maybe compared to you. I think Ryan might watch. Well,
I don't know, man. At the end of the day, I think Ryan indulges too much in movies. We are all just mammals after all.
It's true. He does seem to enjoy like every movie he ever goes see.
That's true. I don't know if that's actually true.
I'm trying to think of a movie he didn't like. He loved Batman vs Superman. Like,
oh, really?
He really liked that movie. He didn't love Suicide Squad, but he still defended it, so I don't know.
No, the movie was terrible, though. Oh, Ryan. And he thinks that we should make cloning a thing.
Okay, we're not going there.
No,
although we made a reference to that in Strange.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because there's a part where the one lady says, we're never ready for anything. And I'm like, yeah, Kyle, you hear that?
Nice memes. I should mention, because this is definitely going to go up before that, so it's going to look real dumb. Ryan got real drunk yesterday for his birthday, and we had a debate that started off in whether or not you're a bitch if you get massages, and turned into whether or not full human cloning should be banned, which was amazing. And I don't know how it happened, because fucking Ryan went a little bit off the rails. But yeah, that'll be coming out shortly. Shane's got some editing he wants to do with it to spare you, the viewers, the exact extent of how exactly how drunk Ryan was, and how hilarious the rest of us were. But you'll be seeing that very shortly. But we're not here to talk about drunk Ryan. We're here to talk about what we've been watching lately. And Chris, I know you just watched Doctor Strange. I saw it in theaters whenever it came out. So give me your thoughts. All I know is that you liked it.
I mean, I thought it was good. As I said on that cast, like, if I had to rank it, it's still behind. It's behind Guardians. It's behind the last two Captain Americas. It's behind the Avengers, and it's behind Iron Man.
Okay.
And then it slots in there. I think about sixth, I believe, on my list.
Of Marvel movies?
Of that cinematic universe, yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, that's not necessarily a knock on it. I mean, really, like, it was good. It was a solid origin story. I didn't love it. I thought I'd like it more than I did, actually.
Interesting.
I felt that as much as it was compelling to watch, and there were definitely some Inception-esque type qualities to it at times.
Mm-hmm.
And I would even say Matrix-esque while we're at it. I also felt like they didn't handle some of the characters as well as they should have either.
Which characters? And what way do you mean?
I really felt, actually, that pretty much anyone that isn't Strange was pretty underdeveloped. And I get that it is an origin story, so he absolutely has to be the focus.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like, and as much as, I like when a movie moves, I felt like it moved a little too much at times. I don't usually say this, but I felt like another 20, 30 minutes on that movie could have really helped it a lot. Yeah, you may have to have a slower build, but I really feel it would have been more fleshed out by the end of it. But, I did like it for the most part as well. I thought it was such a nice new take on superheroes, and that's something that we've been getting more and more with Guardians and Strange, and even if you want to look at Deadpool, like, there's some different types of takes on superheroes at this point.
Yeah, even Ant-Man kind of fits into that same category where it didn't take itself too seriously.
I feel it at times I really liked aspects of the build up into him being like, I really enjoyed the opening scene where he's a doctor or a surgeon, and they're doing all that. I thought that was kind of cool. But then I also felt like okay, he's friends with this Rachel McAdams chick. I can't remember her actual character name. Christine, I think. Christine Palmer, I think's her name. And he's making friends with her, blah blah blah. All of a sudden, car accident, boom, that's fine. I don't mind that, but I felt like once they got to the temple or whatever, I can't remember the name of it. I felt like there was something that they just missed, and I don't know what it was. I really don't. It just felt like Mads Mikkelsen's character was just almost thrown into it. Caecilius or whatever his name is. I felt like he was just kind of thrown into it.
A villain.
And I was disappointed because I really was looking forward to that character, and I really wasn't feeling him. And that's very rare. I don't feel a character Mads Mikkelsen plays. And for me, that only means it probably just wasn't fleshed out enough. I think it got pretty good towards the end. I thought they actually handled it pretty well towards the end, but I felt throughout a lot of the movie, it wasn't great with that aspect. However, towards the end, the final boss, when he fights
Dormammu?
Yeah, that was awesome. That was such a cool spin on I was actually like laughing out loud because it was pretty great how he kept coming back and saying the same thing. And I thought it was hilarious. And it was such a nice spin on a standard boss battle.
It almost felt like a D&D fight where it's like, oh, I figured out a way to get around this thing, so fuck you, Dungeon Master.
Absolutely. It felt like he kept rolling 20s. So he kept going again. It was a nice spin. I really enjoyed that.
Not a feeling that you really would understand, is it, Chris?
Lately it has been.
Yeah.
I've been rolling pretty good lately.
Consecutive 20s. Yeah. I think we can agree that the humorous parts kind of did their job pretty well. Any scene that had the cape, that one with, I can't remember what the song was, but when the dude in the library was listening to
Long, it's Beyonce, Single Ladies.
That's it. That struck really well. Dormammu come to bargain. Did you see the post-credit scene?
Yeah.
Yeah, Thor, great scene.
That one was good. Yeah. The other one that was led more into the next Strange movie, I think. I'm assuming.
Yeah. I thought it.
That's another character I thought was a little bit. Towards the end, they started hitting the nail a little bit more with Baron, but I also felt like that character as well throughout a lot of the movie was pretty underdeveloped, and towards the end, they started getting it together again with Baron Mordo. Who I know he's not going to be a good guy going forward. I know he's a villain technically, which is interesting because I didn't realize that at first until I was reading about it more afterwards that he actually ends up being a villain. So I'm kind of looking forward to that because I think he's actually a really good actor, and I think those two are going to be good adversaries when they do the next Strange movie.
How did you feel about Bald Tilda Swinton's character?
She was okay. Again, very
not fleshed out.
Granted, she's supposed to be mysterious, right?
Yes.
So I kind of understand it more, and they did a good job by, having it be, she's really, she's been really kind of taking from the dark, the dark side the whole time, right? Which was kind of a nice turn for her character, and I thought she did a pretty good job as a whole. I really didn't have any complaints with her. I enjoyed that Benedict Wong was playing Wong. Because, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
He was great.
Double the Benedict, double the fun.
And also his last name was the same as his character's name, which was cool.
And his first name is the same as Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
It's a really powerful name.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it. I didn't love it. I liked it, though. I know origin stories are hard to do to a point where I love them.
Yes.
Even Deadpool, which most people consider one of the best origin stories in a long time, if not ever.
Say that's probably accurate.
I didn't love as much as some people did. I thought it was very well done, but I think there's only so much you can do with an origin story.
That was the greatest Valentine's Day movie of last year.
It was really good. I think I gave it a 3.5, which means I put it as very good.
Yeah, you're a very harsh grader.
I am. I don't give away free grades. But I watched it first time. I gave it a really high score, I think a 4. And I watched it the second time. And I was like, okay, like it was very good, but there were some things that I didn't love about it.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, it's an origin story. Mm-hmm. I think you're a little bit more limited with an origin story.
Although, and just kind of transitioning into what I just saw, I would say that Guardians is an origin story that,
if we're counting that, that's probably the best origin story that Marvel's done.
Yes.
That or Deadpool. Iron Man was really good too.
Mm-hmm. Iron Man was also the origin of the entire universe, so it's a little bit different.
Yeah. I did like Iron Man's. Thor and Cap, I could forget about.
Yep.
Happily.
Those I felt like those kind of were rushed out because, like, oh fuck, we need to have these done before Avengers.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I do think they did a good job with Strange. I was hoping for something a little bit more, but I also I really do think the movie could have benefited from another 20-30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
As it stood, it was
a movie too, wasn't it? Wasn't that like 2.5 hours?
It was an hour and 50 minutes.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah. That's what I mean. I feel like they should have probably had another 20 minutes.
No, I lost track of time in that one because that was one of the ones where we saw it in like the holy shit loud theater, and I got nauseous during the scene where his where he fucked up his hands. Part of that being like, ooh, body mutilation. I'm not great with, and also that specific theater like fucks with me every time I go in. That was the same theater that I passed out during Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them because of like motion sickness. Yeah. I talked about that on one of the earlier casts. Where, like, it wasn't like, oh, this is too scary. It was like.
Might have been the one I was not on, I'm thinking, because I don't think I've heard that before.
No, I was, I could tell I was getting sick, and I got up to leave, and as I was going out the door, like that's when I passed out, and I cracked my head on like that little metal bar, and then someone like found me, and they're like, "You okay?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm good." And then I had like this like lovely like little fucking scar on my head for a little bit. It was great.
Huh. But yeah, no, like I do think that you can do an origin story really well, but I feel like Strange. You're a little more limited because obviously in an origin story, you have to build up to the point where they have the power and you have to harness it. At least with Guardians, they all had powers going into it.
Yeah, or technology.
You're really doing the origin story of how they came together, which is nice because you can still actually. You don't really have to have a slow build with Guardians, right? And you don't. It goes right into him being Star-Lord, and you have that instant. Other than obviously the very beginning, which is only a couple minutes long.
Yeah. He literally just goes like 3 or 4 minutes before he's in space, and then it's like
pretty much 4 minutes in, you're having a 4 minutes in, you're having a chase scene, and that's such a nice way to just jump right in. And at the same time, Guardians nails it with the pacing and with the comedy as well.
Oh, for sure. Well, like even now that I'm thinking about it, we have like really quick thing where it's like this is a kid who's misses his mom because she dies of brain cancer. He got picked up by space aliens, and then it's like here's a planet with a thing on it, and we'll do opening credits over a song that Quill is literally listening to on a 1980s Walkman.
Yeah, that's great.
That's his life.
Might as well transition this. You just saw Guardians 2.
I did.
So obviously we'll hold off on spoilers because I haven't seen it. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who haven't seen it.
Yeah, Peter Quill dies. I mean, shit.
Oh man! Wow.
No.
Shit.
Quill does not die.
Spoiler: Quill's dead.
Yeah. No. I really enjoyed it. I felt like I went in optimistic but cautious because I know sequels can very often not live up to the original. I felt like it was a slow build. Usually, you'll either see movies that'll just try to like rehash all the same shit, and then it's like it falls flat, like an Anchorman to Anchorman 2, for an example, where it's like it's the same joke except it's 12 guys in the giant random fight instead of 4 guys. It's like, okay, like we get it. Or they'll try to go like way too big in scale and they'll kind of fuck themselves. This one felt like it kind of got caught somewhere in the middle. Like it had all the same things that made it great, and it definitely expanded and it built itself towards a different like plot. We've uncovered a lot of questions that were raised in the first one. But it didn't like. It felt very much like it's building towards something, which I feel like is probably Infinity War. It felt a little bit incomplete towards the end of it, but it was still very charming in all of its own regards. And it still felt like a complete movie. It just didn't feel like a complete story, whereas the first one kind of did.
Who's the villain in this one?
The villain is Kurt Russell.
Oh, okay, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
I love Kurt Russell.
Yeah, Kurt Russell's pretty great.
He's kind of a boy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's pretty good. And Stallone makes a brief appearance in it as well, which is
Seriously?
weird. Yep, Stallone's there.
Sick.
Yep, Michael Rooker came back as Yondu.
Yeah, I figured would.
Yeah, all the regular Guardians are there, including Baby Groot instead of regular Groot. Vin Diesel reprised his role there. Bradley Cooper is still Rocket.
So pretty much the whole cast is still...
Yeah, the whole cast is back, except for none of the people from like Xandar or and Thanos isn't in it. Nebula's back too. I forgot about her.
Thanos isn't in it at all?
Nope, Thanos is not in it at all. They talk about him, but he's not there.
That's disappointing.
Hmm?
I was kind of hoping he would have even just a small like cameo almost in it. I mean, he might be. I'm guessing he's probably in the post-credit scenes.
There were 5 of them, but
what?
The 4 or 5, I can't remember. Most of those were humorous post-credit scenes. There was one that was apparently this is supposed to be Stan Lee's last cameo, and that was kind of like, we're not going to see Stan Lee anymore. It was kind of one of them.
Okay.
Which, end of an era, really, because he does show up during the movie and in a post-credit scene, but they're pretty great, those scenes. But no, at the end of the day, like it didn't try to recycle its own jokes, but it did a really good job of pushing in the same direction and just making new ones, like right off the bat within 5 seconds. The thing that I've always liked about Guardians, and I said this yesterday, I think it was before you showed up though, is that those characters feel like a D&D party. Like that's kind of what they feel like, right? Like they're a little bit too ridiculous, and they're a little bit like, let's just have a little bit of fun with this. Like that feels like a D&D campaign where you've put like, you put those specific groups of people together, and it's just it everyone plays off each other really well. Like, I thought that casting Chris Pratt was genius. I think Batista does a really good job. They know exactly what they want for Batista.
For a not that great actor, and I don't want to shit on him because actually he was decent even in the Bond movie, I thought. But for a guy who was in wrestling, he's pretty damn good at that role. It is perfect for him. Like, I mean, and the thing is, like, he's making enough money, he could probably just retire. I mean, he could have retired after wrestling, but I mean, he could really retire if he wants to, but he's getting good roles. I mean, he's in the Blade Runner movie.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's very charming. Like, he's an enjoyable character in Guardians.
Big dude, he's got some decent charisma. Like, he can handle himself in the charisma aspect. I mean, he's no Rock, but
no,
he
also
doesn't have to be.
Look at who he's standing next to, and he stands up in charisma. Chris Pratt and Bradley Cooper are pretty charismatic dudes. And he's like, yeah, I got this. And then we won't really count Vin Diesel because he only has like 3 words he says over and over.
Not that this guy's in a lot, but Michael Rooker is pretty great too.
Yeah, he's
very underrated. Super underrated.
Especially with that missing hand.
There's some pretty surprising names that are in this movie for, I'm guessing, in really small roles, but Jeff Goldblum's in it. He plays the Grand Master.
Yes.
I did not know he was in it. And also Miley Cyrus is in this movie.
Wait, what? Really? Who did she play?
She plays the voice of Mainframe.
Oh, she's a voice. That doesn't count.
It counts. No. I just didn't realize she was in it.
Nope.
There's also a guy who's named Jimmy Urine. Okay? His name is Jimmy Urine, and he plays Half Nut.
Yeah. I'm not sure who that is because
it's just a name. His last name is spelled like piss. Urine.
Yeah,
Urine. And there's a character's name is Half Nut.
There's a character named Taserface, Chris.
Yeah, but his real name is Urine.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate name. I think we can all agree.
Man,
not everyone can be blessed with great last names like Miller and Snow. Sometimes you get stuck with a shitty last name like Power. Ugh. This is what happens when Ryan's not here to defend himself. No, I definitely do recommend going to see this movie, and I think it's something that you're going to enjoy quite a bit. Are you still there, by the way, Chris? Because I think that we're... Yeah. Either we've lost you, or it's just lagging out hard. Well, we have technical difficulties with Chris. We'll just keep on. I definitely recommend that anybody who was planning to see this movie does see this movie. It's pretty much what you would expect, and it's setting up Infinity War pretty well, in my opinion. It just go see it. It's good. Is real good. Okay, Chris said that he'll be back very shortly. So I guess I was gonna have him do the next segment, but now that he's not here, I'm gonna have to think on my feet. That's what I've seen from movies lately. Television-wise, I've still been watching The Office with my girlfriend. We're into season 5 now, which is where you get into some of the better episodes, like when Dwight lights the office on fire and they have trouble with the CPR dummy is a good one. When like we're kind of building into Jim and Pam are engaged now, which obviously is resonating pretty strongly with me at the moment with what's been going on in my personal life. Michael's kind of starting to realize that he's getting later on in life and he always wanted to have lots of kids, and now it's looking like that's going to be a little bit more difficult. The same things that I've always said apply, like except with the exception of like Michael and Dwight, who don't feel like real people at all. Actually, most of those characters don't feel like real people in a lot of cases, or at least like shouldn't be real people. I guess you don't expect to find like a Michael or Dwight out in the real world. You hope not to find a Kevin, but maybe Kevin's there. You really hope not to find an Angela, but there's definitely people who are like that. But Jim and Pam specifically are very real characters that are easy to identify with. Even though I think that everyone has like a mix of something in there. Like I've always felt like I've got certain elements of Jim within myself, but I've definitely got certain elements of Dwight as well. Anyone who knows me well knows that that's definitely the case. But it's very easy to identify. Like it's a very common trope to have a straight man, but having them be easy to identify with in something like a sitcom, where as opposed to have them feel like a real person, having actual flaws that aren't just like hit over your head if they exist, or like they don't just build as very shallow, is very difficult in a lot of cases. And that's always a show that's done a very good job with it. And it's something that I've been able to, I've watched through it, like this is my third watch through, and it feels more and more, I connect with it more and more each time with those characters, because the first time I saw it, I was in my teens, and I wasn't even a real fleshed out person at that point. And the second time was older. It was a couple years ago, but I still wasn't. I think it was like I was finishing it when I started dating Alex. Like I was like right towards the end, so I hadn't really gotten the experience of being in like a steady relationship, getting to watch through the lives of Jim and Pam in that way. And outside of that, that's what we've been watching together. What I've been watching on my own is a really old show that I've gotten 2 seasons into in the past, but I've started over again because it's been a while. And that's 24, which, I mean, I think the first season came out like 2001. So, it's been 17 years. That one's really interesting, and I find it's really good in general. Like I just enjoy the story, but also the way that they set that show and the rules they set within themselves are very interesting. For anybody who doesn't know, the reason it's called 24 is because every episode is a full hour of time. Like every event occurs in real time. So every episode is a full hour out of this show's day, and there's 24 episodes to a season. So it's a full 24-hour day. And every event occurs in real time. So if you're 7 minutes into the show, welcome back, Chris. Are you back with us?
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry, it's my I need a new computer. I don't know.
That's okay. It can't be as bad as Ryan's, right?
I don't know. Shit done randomly, which is kind of annoying when you have school projects and things like that, right?
Yeah, gotta hit that save a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I'll just really quickly finish up my point. I was talking about 24.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, which I've watched the first 2 seasons of before. I've already said this for the audience, but for you, I'm partway through the first season again. I had kind of fallen off of it at some point a couple of years ago. I don't know why, because it's great. But every episode contains a full hour's worth of events, and every event occurs in real time. So, and there's 24 episodes to a season, so it's a full 24-hour day. But they do a really good job of making that work. So if they're like, we've got this thing going down in 20 minutes, it's like, okay, like this is happening in this episode. It's going to be about halfway through this episode because we're 10 minutes in. And then it's really clever to see the way that because they obviously have commercial breaks, right? So you'll like lose a solid 3 or 4 minutes at a time for those. And it's just like they're usually smart about it, where it's like, okay, these people are digging a grave, so it's like we don't really need to see them for another half an hour because we know what they're doing already. And like they may check in on them and they'll have like expositionary dialogue. But it's like, okay, these people are digging a grave. These people are trying to hack into something, but it takes forever because it's 2001. And it's like, like the main thing is like Jack's like, okay, I need to bypass security. And it's like, okay, Jack, it's going to take a couple minutes. And then it'll go to commercial. And then it comes back and he's going into the building. And it's like, because watching someone dig a grave is boring. Watching someone fiddle at a computer is boring. And watching someone try to hack a key code is boring. So, we skip that part. And then he's inside. And then, around the time that we've reached a natural conclusion to that moment in his life, and now he has to go drive somewhere, which is going to take him 15 minutes. Oh, that's cool. Well, the grave's finished being dug now, so let's move on to the next thing that his daughter is doing or whatever. They do a really good job with that. And they don't forget to do like the little things, like every once in a while, because these characters have been up for the entire time, right? Like some of the minor characters will go to sleep and they just won't be on the next 8 episodes because that's a night's sleep. But specifically in the first season, you see a lot of times where Jack himself ends up getting really tired because that season starts at midnight on a night, and he's already been up for that entire day, and then he spends the next 24 hours up. So around like 8 a.m., there's a point where he like literally falls asleep, and somebody like when he's like keeping someone at gunpoint because he's been up for too long and he's had like way too much going on, and then he's like he catches himself. Or they'll, whenever they're doing other things, like you'll see like that's the chance that they get to eat because they I haven't eaten in 16 hours because I've been doing a bunch of crazy shit. It's set really, really well. And then like the story gets interesting too, although some of it's really dated because it was 2001. Like, oh, I found my your phone number in my daughter's address book. And I was like, why would she call the house phone? Oh, right, because it's 2001 and teenagers don't have cell phones yet. Or the presidential character that they have is played by that dude from the Allstate commercials. And like the whole premise around the first season is that there's an assassination attempt against him, and people are like, we'll never see a black president in office if David Palmer gets assassinated. And it's like, oh, that's really funny because one just finished actually, but that was 7 years later. So like I think that show began right around the time, like that was still during Clinton's campaign or during his term, not his campaign. But yeah, like it was before Bush, if I remember correctly. Although no, that's actually not correct. Bush was a recent prime minister, or Jesus president. I can't do my words properly. So we had 2 terms of Bush, and then we got a black president, and then we finished with him now, obviously. But it's just funny to hear them talk about that, which at the time I'm sure was very relevant because it probably seemed like there was never going to be something like that. I wasn't really as aware of those things because I was 10 and I had other problems. But yeah. Is there anything else that you've been watching lately that you wanted to go over?
Yeah, I mean, I won't really talk about them. Well, I mean, I saw Going in Style in theaters, and if anyone just likes a little fun comedy that you don't take it too seriously and you enjoy old guys acting like buffoons, you'll probably like that movie. It's Morgan Freeman, Michael Caine, and Alan Arkin. Also, Christopher Lloyd's in it for Back to the Future fans. And he's pretty funny in it. It's kind of just a simple, funny. I mean, it's 3 guys, old men, who are basically desperate to pay bills, and so they rob a bank. And it's not like they're good at robbing banks, but they. So
it's more of a comedy, I'm assuming.
Absolutely, it is very much light humored, but it's pretty funny. I mean, honestly, when you have the chemistry that those guys have. And Morgan Freeman and Michael Caine alone are great, obviously, right? And Michael Caine, it's refreshing to see him in a different kind of role.
Yeah, it's not like
often he's in serious roles.
We need to make sure that we don't touch the vault. We only take money out of the drawers.
He's often in serious roles, so it was nice to see him not in that kind of role. Otherwise, I've been watching. I just finished a show called Girl Boss, which. My girlfriend was watching it, and I decided why not. It's a quick, easy watch, but I don't know. It's okay. Like, it has some charm to it for sure. For those who don't know, it's a girl who she wants to work for herself, so she starts buying vintage clothing, giving it a little makeover, and then selling it on eBay for a lot more money. There's some issues with it for sure. The big one being
legally.
No, I mean not legally. Like the protagonist is, like she is kind of hard to like, and I don't think you're supposed to like her, but it's really hard when the main character of the show, the girl that's in every single scene, is honestly frustrating to watch. She steals shit. She, frankly, is an awful human being in a lot of ways, and it's frustrating at times to watch. However, the show itself has a lot of good side characters. The Dean from Community's in it.
Looks like Norm Macdonald's in this. RuPaul.
Yeah, Dean Norris is in it.
Yeah, I was just about to say our boy Hank from Breaking Bad.
Yeah, he's her dad.
Yeah, Jim Rash. Yeah, that's some. Yeah, I literally don't recognize any of the main cast here, but you get down to the first 4 recurring characters: Dean Norris from Hank from Breaking Bad, Norm Macdonald,
there's
RuPaul,
some potential there.
Fucking RuPaul, and Jim Rash.
Yeah, they have some really good side characters, and RuPaul's great in it. They have some really good side characters, and I think that's what it can build on. But they need to make her a lot more likable, because honestly, if you watch it, you want to just punch her in the face. And while I don't condone punching women or even just punching people in general in the face, you're going to want to if you watch it. Because there are times where she's just flat out baffling how terrible of a protagonist she is. And there's not like she literally steals shit and doesn't see anything wrong with it.
Chris, spoilers.
Like it's not a major part of it, but like when she's starting her business, she steals one of those dummies books on starting a business. And afterwards is like sees nothing wrong with it. Like she gets away with it, and like it's hard to like a protagonist who honestly is just completely blind. She turns on her friends. She doesn't take any of her jobs seriously. It's just, if you watch it, and there's moments where you like her, because in one way, yes, she is someone who has a passion for doing what she does, and it's a nice comeback story. But at the same time, the way she goes about it is kind of frustrating. So it's something that I think still has potential, and it really got better towards the end of the season when they started making her a lot more likable. Early on in the season, I hated her, but the last 4 or 5 episodes started to get really good, I thought. So I might still watch that afterwards. We'll see. The other show I've been watching, I just started though, like I'm 2 episodes in, is 13 Reasons Why. Which
you've gotten 2 of the reasons now. I don't actually know if it's 1 per episode.
I got 2 sides of the tape. We'll put it that way.
Also, what fucking year does this tape place? Who uses tapes?
You should watch it, man.
I mean, I may.
Good.
I've just heard it just bums you out, although. Like, it's just sad.
Yeah, but it's really captivating to watch, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they don't necessarily go about it in a way that bums you out. Not at the point where I'm at least. And I've heard towards the end, it's just mind-fucking. Like, it's crazy towards the end, I've heard. But it's pretty well done. I like how they do it. It's worth a watch. I mean, it's only 13 episodes, of course.
Half hour or hour episodes?
It is 45 minutes, I think, an episode.
Okay. Oh, yeah, Netflix can do that, I guess, with its Netflix original.
Yeah, but it is really worth the watch. It doesn't feel like you're watching it for that long. Yeah, really worth the watch. I don't really want to say too much because I really haven't seen that much. But I've heard enough, and then now that I'm seeing it, I really like the direction. It has a bit of a Riverdale feel to it, and by that I mean there's a mystery, but they really pace it well.
Yeah.
They make the characters. There's some pretty likable characters, but at the same time, I also feel like almost every character you could have opinion of liking them or hating them at the same time, which I also think Riverdale is pretty well. Because other than Jughead, there's some things I like and don't like about each character in that show. Which
I would totally agree with that statement.
And I like that. I think you need to have, especially in a movie, or no, not a movie, in a show based around a mystery, I think that's a good tone to set.
Yeah.
And I think both those shows do a really good job of it.
It's really hard to know who killed Jason Blossom, Chris.
I know you know, and I don't know.
Oh, you still haven't watched? Oh, bud.
No, I haven't. I got caught up in 13 Reasons Why, but I will get there.
Can you give me 13 reasons why you watched that instead of Riverdale?
Not yet.
Just 2? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like it's really worth the watch, though. I'll say that.
Mhm.
If someone likes the mystery and you don't have for those who don't know, like, is 13 Reasons Why a girl kills herself, and she leaves some tapes behind, blaming people, or basically not even blaming, but saying, these are some of the people who led to my death, and here's some of the reasons. And she's not like a bitch about it necessarily. Like, for a lot of it, usually she'll be like, we were best friends and we were having a great time, and then all of a sudden you find out what this person did. And it's like, shit, like, seriously, holy fuck, like, it is crazy. And I've heard it gets way better towards the end too, so I'm looking forward to it.
Fair enough. Do you have anything else that you want to cover?
No, I think that's about it. I mean, I've seen other movies like Boy in the Striped Pajamas, but honestly, like, it was good. People should watch it, but you should read the book.
Okay, fair enough. So I think with that, we will call this cast. A little bit shorter this week, but since there's only two of us and our what was supposed to be our, I think we were supposed to be doing controllers and keyboards yesterday, and then we turned into a 4-hour debate with Drunk Ryan. It kind of took up a lot of our time and energy because, man, that was really hard at different points when we'd be like saying something and Ryan was like, "My guys, clones." It took a bit out of me. But no, we'll be continuing on with our regularly scheduled programming for the rest of the week.
D&D tomorrow.
D&D is recorded tomorrow. The next episode will probably be up on Monday because we did just release the most recent one. Sure. There were too many caskets.
I'm looking forward to that tomorrow.
Yeah, I wonder if Ryan's going to survive. And I'm not going to say anything more because now it's all clickbaity. Anyone who listens to this can be like, "Fuck, Ryan might die at the end of D&D. Now I need to go watch D&D."
You should make that the name of the second D&D one is
Ryan might die.
Ryan might die.
Well, there
Ryan dead question mark.
Just
sorry, we're not clickbaiters. We're not going to do that.
No, there's 13 reasons why Ryan might be dead. You won't fucking believe what number 4 is.
Caskets. There are lots of caskets.
There are a lot of caskets.
We buried him in a casket.
Yeah. All right. So this has been Sequels and Spinoffs. Thank you for joining me, Chris Miller.
Thank you for joining me as well, Kyle Snow.
And that's me. I'm Kyle Snow. We'll catch you motherfuckers next week, but also later this week if you listen to any of our other content. But if you're just a Sequels and Spinoffs person, next week. If you're just a Sequels and Spinoff person, start watching Powering Through the Movie Mill because that shit's pretty good.